You to me are everything, the sweetest thing that I can sing. So, sir, great stuff happening at the moment. And based on some amazing feedback from the productization piece.
Yes.
We need to have a word again, don't we? We're at that time.
It's coming. This one has been coming for a while, actually.
No. Well, here's one for you. What's the best product man ever made? 3, 2.
Stella Artois.
No, it's bleach, mate. Because you go to the shop, you buy it, you pour it down the toilet, you go back to the shop and buy some more. Pour it down the toilet, walk to. There's no middleman. There's no value, right? Oh, if only we could come up with a set of products that were that efficient.
Before we start, I've actually got a bone to pick, but not with you, which makes a change. But we've got a brilliant videographer called Neil Kemp, who does all our video for us. He's brilliant, right? I'd recommend him to anyone. Yeah. However, I'm angry with him. And the reason for that is every time we do these, you get all the special effects. You get to turn into Gandalf. You get the man from Strictly Come Dancing shouting 7 in the background. 7 again. I haven't had any. So
do you mean that if you don't load Ganley, how do you expect to get the shout out?
Well, I don't want him to turn me into Gollum.
You don't have any friends.
If you turn you into Gandalf. But Neil, a word to the wise, mate. I want my own little effects package here. All right, just so.
Well, let's leave that alone because people want to understand some gold here, my precious.
Sneaky little hobbitses.
Okay.
So we've been fighting around this whole thing. So the question for PG Tips today is, and I will ask you. And we are going to fall out. Trevor Pinder, yes. How many products should any recruitment business have? 3. Irrefutably 3. Wrong. Okay, please give us a heads up. What do you think they should be?
1 perm, 1 contract, 1 TAS. So 1 talent as a service for those that are not in the initiated, 1 outsourced in-house product to those that are not.
Trevor, how long have you been in recruitment, mate?
25 years.
Brilliant. So in all that time, you think people can only be good at 3 things in recruitment?
No, they have to be good at 3 things in recruitment. Registering brilliant A-grade roles, selling properly matched profiles, and getting first interviews where you need them.
Okay. Well, you should, just in fairness, ask me the same question.
Gary?
Yes, mate.
Let's say, for instance, you were opening an agency.
Hang on, that's not the same question.
Gary, how many products should we have within our recruitment businesses?
As many as you need, mate.
You can't create a smorgasbord. You create too much choice, people don't buy.
If you don't create a smorgasbord, then the sector never moves forward. Because you're always doing what you've always done.
Do you know what? Interestingly, once again, we could be talking about the same thing, but coming at it from different angles. Allow me to explain. Your contract product has several different features that will benefit your client, and you can bespoke it up and down depending on what they need. It's like the BMW methodology, right? You walk into a BMW garage and try and buy a BMW. All you'll get is the wheels, the steering wheel, and the badge. Everything else is an additional extra, but it's still just a BMW. So you can have 1 great contract product that features lots of different bespoke elements that you can charge percentage points on or cash elements on, but it's fundamentally 1 base product that we can move in and out of.
I totally come at all of this from a different perspective. I think anybody's product range should be devised and spirited and driven specifically to answer a question from the customer. So what is the challenge that your product solve? Right. The worst product range in the world starts with gold, silver, and bronze. Right. So the more you pay us, the more you get.
Because we didn't have bronze because the fire never worked, and we couldn't afford gold, so we always had the silver caravan on the camp.
Well, the nice thing about silver is actually it's a pretty decent investment right now. Right. But on the grand scheme of things, you'd never have a 3-tiered product offering. I always think that that you're not supposed to ask customers questions anymore. You're supposed to know the answer. if you're very smart at insight selling, you would always understand what their drivers are and what their challenges are. If you can then position yourself to answer the question that they were just posed at the recent board meeting, then you are onto a winner, my friend, because you're doing something totally different. Look, we could challenge this all day long, but personally for me, you have a key hire product where you charge an absolute fortune with a long-term free replacement. You have a bundles offering on these are all perm, a bundles offering where you would take half the money up front, but you build a perpetual talent pool. You would have a statement of a permanent outsourced in-house model, which takes away all the pain, the worry, and you give the businesses a facility to go forward, knowing that they've always got talent there where they want it, and effectively paying for service and get free recruitment. Then you have a startup product, divide by 10 per over 12. But then you would have on contract, you'd have your classic model. Then you'd have your key hire search. Who does search on contract? Should. Why aren't you? Then you'd have your statement of work piece. Then you do your total sort of parachute in mixture of temp to perm, contracts, key hire, that whole piece. The issue is, TP, me and thee can moonwalk in, tap dance around a customer and foxtrot out of that room. Most people can't. The one thing that I'm guessing that we will both agree on, your product range depends on who's selling it.
I couldn't agree more. Can I just take you to another angle though, right? When I came into recruitment 25 years ago, the job of the marketeer and the job of the recruiter were this far apart. My opinion now is they're about that far apart. They're so close, I've invented a new word, the raconteur. You can keep that.
Shut
Now,
you had me, because when you started talking about coming from a different angle, I was looking at you, all I was thinking about was angle grinder. Neil, knock yourself out.
Now, you and I have both been studying marketing much more deeply over the last 6 months. And what we both realised is that there's a huge saying in marketing called the power of three. Earth is the third rock from the sun. There were three stooges, okay? Gold, silver, bronze, hot, warm, cold, A, B, or C. Therefore, there's a huge amount of psychology attached to marketing against the power of three. First, second, and third. They'll have different letters after them. ST, ND, RD. The rest of the numbers have just a TH. There's a huge amount of marketing power behind the power of three that you're missing out on here. Therefore, I think it's first round to me.
I'm not giving it you. So, given that the
whole world, you like that, didn't you? You did like
that. Yeah, I did like that. I did. You missed, mate. You got a bit on your chin.
Well, I want to go a white beard like you and get white glasses.
The other one, right? So the guest. I knew this was just going to be a row. Personally, I think the whole drive towards 180 is sensible, obvious, and what's going there. Totally if you have business champions. I can't. Well, I've got lots of people who are. I'm working with lots of people who are saying some amazing solutions. Excuse me. Each one of those is absolutely unique in itself. The way the proposition's been put together. It's unfair to expect a recruiter who's got 18 months under the bonnet to be able to sort of fathom that and understand the commercial reality of it, let alone put it together, and then operationally have the impact within the company to say, I've just landed a whale. You know, there has to be both that internal communication, there has to be that repository of really good insight and intel, and there has to be the ability to plug in to somebody else's brain to go, like they plug into R2D2 to come up with something which is fucking on point for that solution.
Yeah,
I think that the answer to the question is, how many products should there be? I still think I'm right in that it's an infinite number for an infinite number of problems, but you have to just be truly agile. From a recruiter's perspective, it's understanding what will what you have in your armory to get a customer to say yes, and the scope and remit you've got, the more service features that you have in your products, your basic products, your classic, your contingent products, the more things you've got to give away before you start talking about margin and percentages.
That's just the race to the bottom, isn't it? That's just the race to the bottom anyway.
Yeah, and you know what? And there's too many people still doing it, but more for them. And the good news is most of them are going out of business. I couldn't wait for it to happen. But on the other side of it is really smart people doing really smart things. And you spend your time working, with, I'm not saying grassroots, because you don't really work, you work with people on a proper, they might be sort of in their infancy in the sector, but they're on a proper trajectory, and they're people. So if anybody's really good as as a prospect, and you want them to make them into, as the young David Beckham walks in, the young Maradona walks in, Ronaldo walks in, you're going to give them Trevor Pinder to make them the best they could possibly be, and just see if the business can keep up with them. Now that's amazing, but you do set your product suite up to suit the people who are selling it, but that doesn't limit the amount of products and solutions that you offer.
Yeah, I want to say, you made some excellent points. I want to say three things. Firstly, it should be someone's full-time job in your business, if possible. So someone should be doing it 24/7, 365. They should be a product champion. Secondly, really interestingly, this will go out into LinkedIn world, and half the people that run agencies won't have a clue what we're talking about. All right? It's true, isn't it? Half the people will go, what's recruitment product? What's that? Thirdly, the risk you run of having multiple products is that your marketing asset changes from being something that's really dynamic to being like an instruction manual for a microwave.
Shut-ding! I love you. That's brilliant. Okay, so I reckon I won that overall.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we allow the public to vote?
Well, no, because you've got more friends than me, because I think the public are idiots. All right. Well, okay, look. Anything over a 5, it's GG. Anything under a 1, it's Trevor. Oh. Right. So a T for Trevor, G for the legend, the myth, the man.
Come on now.
No, so do you know what? In which case, I wouldn't fight with you. It's all about Trevor. I love you, man. Right, thank you, brother.
Thanks again. See you soon, mate.
See you soon, my man. Right, high five. What?